Greetings, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. I'm Jakumar Mohanachandran, the Chief Research Officer at IMCAS. I've been in the industry for the last 25 plus years. I've been always passionate in driving technology that can propel businesses towards success. CI as a Service, CAS, is your ultimate destination for all things related to technology and information. If you are embarking on large-scale projects or seeking specialized expertise, or require any consultation for your endeavors, CAS is your go-to solution. We work very closely with you, offering deep expertise and leveraging decades of experience to deliver optimal solutions that is being tailored to your enterprise needs. I head the research division of CAS, and at CAS Research, we operate with a lot of integrity and transparency, and that's the very core of our research. With a wealth of multiple years of experience, CAS Research has ingrained stringent policies and standards at its core. We have been creating research purely focused on technology, creates an environment where neither clients nor vendors can sway our research. And here we are now with a detailed breakdown of those industry-wide reports related to healthcare, oil and gas, retail, insurance, so on and so forth. So guided by our world's best practices, we maintain objectivity in ensuring clients cannot purchase research coverage or favorable opinions. Our dedication to independence empowers us to make bold calls, exercising full control over our research agenda, evaluations, and conclusions. I just wanted to let you all know that there's been a lot of meticulous planning and activities that went behind all our research just to ensure that the quality is not compromised. And we purely focus all the time on qualitative information rather than quantitative data, including proprietary insights to inform that we come up with the right kind of data points for you to take any decisions. The advantage of relying on with CAS Research will be you will get a comprehensive insights into the latest tech trends customized to your business needs. We can arrange strategic consulting sessions. You will be a part of our event, when we do the research readouts. You will get the early market predictions and also access to our expert network. So with this, I would like to conclude and hand it over to our lead research analyst, Shoaib Chowdhury, who will take you through the deep dive of today's webinar, which will actually focus on one of the industry. And from here onwards, please do thoroughly enjoy the session and do share your feedback. We look forward to working with you very closely. Our deliverables are designed to empower your business with the knowledge and strategies that needed in this digital age. So looking forward to work closely with each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Middle East IT Industry Foresight's 2025 Real Estate Webinar. I'm Shoaib Mohammed Chaudhary, Lead Research Analyst at CAS Research, and I'll be presenting the key insights gathered from my extensive regional study on how technology is transforming and reshaping the real estate industry. As the sector navigates a shift towards digitalization, automation, and data-led decision-making, this report offers practical foresight into where industry leaders are investing, where there are gaps that have been noticed and challenges that have been encountered, and what strategic actions they are prioritizing. To begin with, the demographics are findings based on responses from over 150 real estate professionals. The majority, 52%, were CIOs, with 38% being CISOs. We also heard from CTOs and IT directors indicating strong participation from key decision makers. Gender representation showed 22% of female participation, which, while still emerging, reflects ongoing diversity efforts in leadership roles. Geographically, participation came from 32% in Saudi Arabia, 28% in United Arab Emirates, followed by Kuwait, Oman, and Qatar, offering a robust GCC-wide perspective. Property management and operations. In this segment, we explored how well integrated real estate firms are in managing their core operations. Only 30.1% of respondents reported having highly integrated IT systems across leasing, maintenance, and facilities management. A large proportion, that is 41.5%, operate with partial integration, which causes bottlenecks and workflow inefficiencies. On the marketing front, 53.9% use comprehensive online listing platforms, while the remaining firms still depend on basic web presence or limited tech use. This points to a clear opportunity for firms to unify their operational stack, streamline property lifecycle management, and improve digital customer facing channels. CRM and sales acceleration. The customer experience is increasingly digital, and we wanted to understand how the organizations are managing this. The CAS research highlights that 56.1% are using CRM platforms extensively, integrating lead tracking and client communications into a single system. However, 34.7% report only partial use and 9.2% haven't yet adopted a CRM platform. More importantly, when it comes to tech's impact on sales cycles, 66.7% of firms use technology. 66.7% of firms say technology is highly effective, speeding up deal closures and improving client satisfaction. The remaining segment experiences mixed results, either due to underutilized tools or unfragmented workflows. To remain competitive, the organizations must treat CRM not as a support tool but as a strategic engine for conversion and relationship building. Data analytics and market trends. The ability to leverage data for pricing, investment, and forecasting is becoming essential in real estate. 31.1% of companies say that their AI driven valuation tools are effective, while 44.3% admit they are still under optimized. 24.6% have yet to implement artificial intelligence at all. On the predictive side, 56.1% use advanced analytics to forecast market demand, but 33.1% still rely on manual experts' insights and 10.8% lack forecasting tools entirely. The takeaway, there's a strong momentum towards analytics, but the industry needs better data consolidation, training, and tool alignment to unlock its full potential. Security and technology adoption. As digital platforms collect more personal and transactional data, cybersecurity becomes a core priority. The CAS research highlighted that 56.9% of real estate firms are heavily investing in new tech. 1.2% are considered highly proficient, 53.9% are moderately adaptable, and 4.9% still struggle with basic digital tools. Notably, 76.2% of respondents believe that technology will play an extremely pivotal role in shaping the future of the industry, affirming that digital readiness is now a core leadership. Coming to the strategic recommendations, based on all the findings, here are the top strategic recommendations to help real estate organizations align with 2025 priorities. First, integrate core technology platforms, consolidating leasing, billing, and maintenance into unified cloud native solutions to eliminate fragmentation and support real time control. Optimize smart operations. Embrace IoT for smart facilities and predictive maintenance. Deploy artificial intelligence for investment modeling and demand planning across regions. Thirdly, elevate customer engagement. Move beyond analytics. Fourth point being drive data led decision making. Blend internal performance metrics with external market indicators to power predictive analytics and regional strategy customization. And lastly, ensure cybersecurity and compliance. Harden systems for the foundation up. Build a governance model that embeds compliance into every platform that educates frontline teams on digital risks. These actions will enable real estate firms to future proof operations, elevate investor confidence, and deliver enhanced tenant and buyer experiences. Lastly, I'd like to thank all participants who have been a part of this survey and helped us curate an insightful report thanks to the contribution of senior leaders and technology experts across the region. We are also thankful to our research team who's been working on this report and who has helped to curate such an insightful and data driven report from all these responses that we got from the survey of the report. Going ahead, we have a panel discussion with the real estate IT leaders and expertise who will be joining us for the panel discussion. And first off, I'd like to invite Mr. Saeed Fakhruddin Albiz, who's the Senior Director of Technology from King Abdullah Economic City. Joining him is Mr. Kiran Shinde, Chief Technology Officer at Al Hamara Group. And lastly, a warm welcome to Mr. Mubarak Hussain, who's the IT Director. So, very warm welcome to all of you guys, and I'd like to begin with thanking you guys to be a part of this panel discussion. So, I'd like to welcome Mr. Mubarak Hussain, who's joining us, and thank you, Mr. Hussain, for taking up this time and being a part of this panel discussion. And I just begin my first question. I'd like to ask that CRM and sales platforms have accelerated deal cycles, yet many organizations still underutilize virtual tours and augmented reality. So, my question is, what is holding back immersive tech adoption in client engagement, and how can that change?
Thank you very much, Web. Thanks for the question. Very nice to be part of this panel today. It's an interesting area. What I believe is that there needs to be a strategy when incorporating augmented reality, VR tools into the environment. Yes, people are aware of CRM tools and CRM adoption of deal cycles for sales of properties. And then what you have is when you start moving towards the AR, VR elements, you start getting involvement from other teams in the business, maybe marketing, maybe areas like this. And there needs to be a holistic strategy as to what is it you're trying to achieve with these tools. If you're trying to do the end-to-end process so that you're giving virtual tours, virtual walkthroughs, and you want to actually conduct sales from that, then there needs to be a strategy where those tools are connected to your back-end systems like CRM systems. Otherwise, you have a disconnect. You have tools which are presenting the virtual tours and the properties, but they're not actively updating. And then, as a result, maybe there's not a real understanding as to how they're contributing to the overall sales or what the return of investment is of those tools. If the strategy is just purely to give views of the property, then that's different. Then that serves a different purpose. But yes, I think overall it's always better to coordinate the IT, the digital strategy across the business so that there is a full end-to-end strategy in terms of the implementation of such tools.
Thank you, Mr. Hussain. You rightly mentioned, and I agree with you that we need to set an end-to-end strategy to implement these tools. Okay, so firstly, Mr. Kiran Shinde, thank you very much for joining us and taking this time out and being available on the webinar. And it's a delight to have you on this panel discussion. So I'll just jump to my first question, but I'd like to know, how is the role of technology evolving in the real estate life cycle, like from acquisition to post-sales service, and what specific areas are seeing the most impact in the Middle East?
Okay, thank you for having me. It's actually a privilege to be part of this discussion in a country, that is actually setting global benchmarks in real estate innovation. In UAE, you are not just witnessing that vertical growth, we are seeing digital depth as well. From AI-based planning to the tenants experience apps which are being created. And the real estate industry here is transforming faster than ever. Now, coming to the question that you asked, that how technology is reshaping the real estate life cycles, right? Every real estate has its life cycle from, planning and acquisition. And then it also has its other modes like selling it. And then obviously the post-handover piece, which is there. If you see right now, the planning and acquisition, developers here are using GIS, which is nothing but a drone mapping and digital twins to assess the land viability. If you check in Abu Dhabi, the TAM platform, which is the TAMM platform, and Dubai's REST initiative are giving visibility and speed to the land evaluation, which is very critical when you start the project. For example, even if you consider in Ras Al Khaimah, there is now complete reliance on digital zoning data before committing to the large scale waterfront projects which are being developed over here. Now, as far as the second phase is concerned, which is once you develop the property, the sales and marketing is concerned, the UAE off-plan market thrives completely on the immersive techs which are there. They create those 3D walkthroughs, virtual reality, the AI-driven pricing, and even the WhatsApp integrated bookings which are there. You have those immersive rooms where you actually get a feel that how the property is going to get developed and so on and so forth. I have seen the luxury projects in very plush places like Dubai Marina and Business Bay. They actually get sell out, not even a single person visiting it. It just happens to the digital engagement, as far as what I understand. Now, once you sell that, the next life cycle is the post sales and community experience, and this is where the real estate meets the lifestyle. Developers like the big names like the Aldas, Imars of the world are deploying mobile apps for everything, like for maintenance, the facility booking, the community portals which are there, and other concierge services which are also there. Also in the places like Mazda City, the real-time energy dashboards, the predictive maintenance are being standardized, and they're at a state of the art the way the development has been done. So we are no longer just in UAE just building the towers. We are building the digital platforms that in which people also live in. So yes, as I said, it is not only the vertical growth but also the digital depth that is being created in the UAE market as far as the real estate industry is concerned.
Thank you, Kiran. Thank you very much for answering that so elaborately and putting it so beautifully. And I completely agree with you when you say that we are just not building real estate, but we are also getting a digital landscape out of it. Thank you, Mr. Albiz, for joining us today, and it's a delight to have you on this panel discussion. And I'll start right away with my first question, that given with the region's ambitious urban development and smart city projects, how can public-private collaboration accelerate real estate technology transformation at scale?
It's a very, very interesting topic where we have to understand how the different smart cities across the region, across the globe are performing. Any smart city initial stage, right? Most of them are going with reference, and those who are already working as a city, trying to convert them into a smart city using certain projects in a phased approach. So first and foremost, we need to have a joint innovation hubs where organizations across the region and across the globe can collaborate and understand what are the different parameters required. For example, if you are talking about a smart city, there is something called a smart city index. It has more than 200, 300 parameters. So every parameter has a weightage and a score. The score which you achieve gives you a raise in the ranking of the city. So the joint innovation hubs help the smart cities to grow faster, and it is not a smart city alone can do it. It needs to have a partnership. If you have the private partnerships and the innovation hubs from the different research labs, it's very helpful. And the second thing is the shared data platform, because the volume of data being generated in smart cities is significantly high. And this data is more useful only when it is put into place in the right structure, right analytics can be applied, and it will be helpful. The third one is the framework on the regulatory compliance requirements in the respective country, as well as in the region, and as well as across the globe. So the fast development of technology, fast implementation of new solutions also give opportunity for the hackers and the people who want to abuse the system. Needs to be controlled and managed in a very planned manner. And the third one is the opportunity for the private players to be part of the smart city with incentives. Like, for example, there are many smart cities which are also having a special economic zone, and they are also coming up with incentives, allocation of land or the building or the licenses. So these are very critical for a public-private partnership model for the real estate transformation in the smart cities.
Thank you, Mr. Alvis, for putting it so wonderfully across, and I'm sure it's going to be helpful for us. And coming back to you, I'd like to ask my second question. That is that data analytics is viewed as critical, but however, artificial intelligence tools for valuation and forecasting are still under development. So my question here is that how can real estate leaders better integrate predictive insights into decision making?
Yes. So this is a very interesting area. It's an area I've also explored as well. AI has huge potential. It can be used in terms of forecasting, in terms of analysis, in terms of analytics. But once again, there needs to be a strategy as to how to implement it. You also need the right skill sets in place, because when you start to build things like AI models, do you have people who understand how to build AI models, how to link your ERP systems to, AI platforms, whether it's Fabric or GPT or whatever you might be using as your LLMs. Is there the technical expertise as to how to link them, and is there an understanding as to how to create prompts to understand how to get the answers you want? Because AI is not like search. It's not something that's going to give you a direct answer and the same answer every time. It can hallucinate. It can start to think and give you different answers. You can ask a question one day, maybe you'll get one answer. So you need to really validate the answers you're getting from AI and really make sure that, if they're leading to predictions and they're leading to forecasts and sales and they're leading to rental pricing, yes, you're connecting to, you should connect to external systems and government websites that give you pricing data in the area of the property, of similar properties to yourself, and you can work out what the trends are. But you need to know how to actually deploy these AI systems to make sure that they're actually fit for purpose, because you want to make sure that when these tools are actually used, that they're actually giving information which is reliable, which is correct, and which then can be acted upon. So that's very important in this day and age as well.
Great. And I completely agree with you. So coming back to you for the second question, Kiran, I'd like to ask, we had a CAS research report that was just published. And in it, we observed that with over 70% of real estate firms reporting cybersecurity investment, how can organizations move beyond compliance to build a truly resilient and secure digital infrastructure?
Look, cybersecurity is something that you can never avoid, right? It has to be there. Because there are people involved, people lives are involved, their details are there, their personal information, which is PI information, which is there. And cybersecurity, as far as if you see, the more and more we are getting digitized, the threat to it is also becoming real, right? So cybersecurity in real estate is now has become a risk to the reputation, revenue, and even the physical safety. And in the UAE, where the digital platform handles property sales, which is, again, I said, it's a PI data, the tenant data, the access control, the stakes are very high. Now, if you see the current landscape, and if you see the most of the real estate companies, if I speak on behalf of them, yes, most of the real estate companies in UAE are compliant. Many UAE-based developers follow NESA, that is NESA, Dubai's cybersecurity strategy, and even GDPR, which is a standard for the international buyers. But compliance is a starting point. It doesn't guarantee the resilience. The real risk, if I talk about, is imagine, right? If your access control system in a luxury high rise is hacked, or worse, tenant payment data from your CRM is basically breached. So we are talking about physical systems as well. The personal lives are being compromised. So I don't think it's even no longer only an IT department headache. I think it's an entire organization's effort to basically invest and contribute to the cybersecurity of whatever the assets which are there, because you have your CCTVs, which are also part of your security. Now, what does resilience looks like? If you ask me that, the real estate firms basically here must adopt, which is very, very important, is the zero trust architecture. Don't assume any internal system is secure by default. You have to consider that yes, it is prone to the threat, and there should be a zero tolerance towards it. Now, the segment networks which are there, your tenant apps which are there, shouldn't be at the same layer as the other BMS systems which are there, and there should be a constant, regular penetration testing which should be done, especially with the smart homes in the IoTs, locks, and biometric accesses which most of the developers are given, and which are actually based on the cloud. These are all systems which are there are cloud based as far as the authentication is concerned. So resilience means being ready before the breach, not apologizing it later. It's time the cybersecurity becomes a C-suite and a boardroom discussion in UAE in a real estate company, rather than it being only cornered or restricted towards the IT agenda. It should be a C-suite agenda discussed at least once in a month by the C-suite in the boardrooms.
Thank you, Kiran. Thank you. So, coming back to you, Mr. Albiz, I'd like to ask that how can real estate firms quantify the return on investment of digital transformation, not just in terms of cost savings, but also tenant satisfaction, asset value, and portfolio performance?
You actually put exactly the context into your question itself, because ROI, most of the people always think monetary benefits, but ROI is not actually only monetary benefits. What are the values being created in terms of the digital transformation? What are the services being offered? How your customers are satisfied? So when you are trying to do a digital transformation for a real estate organization or a smart city, you need to have a clear defined KPIs, goals and objectives. So when these are defined, it needs to have a very clear picture. What are your objectives to be achieved, and what is the time frame, and what is the budget estimated, and what is the benefit for the organization and for the customers. And once this is available, this needs to be tracked in an efficient manner, whether the results are promising or results are going in a negative way. Based on that, the progress of the project needs to be fine-tuned and needs to be improved. The second thing is we need to understand how the digital twins and the IoT data can be productively used in terms of improving the energy consumption or the support level within the customers. So most of the things are covered through these digital twins, where you have a mirror of the real situation, and you will be able to reproduce cases where practical operations are needs to be verified before it is implemented. And the third one is the benchmark of the where we are going to. For example, I'm saying I'm growing. Where is your benchmark? You are comparing with whom? So we need to have a benchmark where we are standing, how we are going to grow. So this is also an ROI. And the more you grow in the region, the more you grow in terms of the value creation in the chain. And the next one is the life cycle management of assets, infrastructure assets. These all have its own life cycle, and this needs to be clearly identified. What actions required to be taken in terms of managing the preventive maintenance, and what are the contracts with the vendor alliances. So many things play in this one, and this needs to be having an ROI in terms of monetary as well as the value creation. And especially the sustainability and carbon footprint improvements, these are being forced majorly across the globe, and these are also need to be part of the KPIs for monitoring and the growth of the city.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you. Very, very elaborately and very precisely put. It's going to be helpful for everyone who's hearing us. To change and low digital proficiency among staff were highlighted as a major challenge when we curated the Foresight 2025 Real Estate Report. So here I'd like to know what practical steps can organizations take to foster a tech-empowered and adaptive workforce?
So the company has to have a culture which is conducive to change and digital transformation. It needs to be comfortable with experimentation. Is it set up so that the company is able to experiment? Because it's far cheaper to experiment and then decide whether this product is now worthy of moving forward and developing further, and the time and effort it takes. Maybe only 10% of those experimentation projects will move forward to further development. But that's okay. It's okay to fail on 90% of the time. That's the whole point of experimentation. You're not supposed to be right 100% of the time. That's not the way it works. So, is your company ready for that? Because it's a lot more expensive to spend a huge amount of money with the scope of works, yet not really understand if this thing is going to work out. And then at the end of it, after all the effort and time, and you realize that actually that was not the right solution and not the right product. So, have that culture of experimentation, be comfortable with failure, have a culture of learning, have nimble, adaptive, agile teams that can argue authority to experiment on ideas, without too much bureaucracy. On the experimentation phases, yes. Later on, where there's a larger need for capital investment, or it will require much more resources, then yes, absolutely have your approvals and your management approvals and your buy-in. But at the initial stages, allow people to experiment, allow them to test ideas, allow them to explore and learn, and have the culture set up in the organization that encourages that rewards it, and then let the products be built in an agile way. So you're not trying to do big bang approaches of large scale implementations. You're developing a product, and then you're iterating and enhancing and developing a product through multiple iterations. I think that if you develop the right culture, the right organizational structures, have the right leadership support, then that will overcome all the challenges that you might face in terms of the trying to execute digital transformation, and have buy-in from all stakeholders across, from the top to the bottom as well, and let them buy in and understand your vision and what it is that you're trying to achieve.
Great, Mr. Hussain. Thank you very much. Just last question to Kiran is that IoT and smart building technologies are being widely adopted, but often need improvement. So, what are the operational and technical barriers to fully optimizing smart buildings in the region?
Yeah, that's really a good one. See, this is not even a good one, it's a big one. I see UAE developers are actually investing in smart buildings, and with the ESG of the like coming in, the environmental sustainability and everything, governance coming it together, they are actually building the smart building. But many are struggling to go beyond some basic automation. I'll tell you why. The problem is also the legacy and the interoperability issues. Many properties, even new ones, or the fragmented systems which are there, are lighting from one vendor, it can be the other, havoc from another, the elevators can be from the third one, right? With no integration layer in between, because these all three are different systems from different providers. See, in Dubai and Sharjah, as far as what I remember, retrofitting existing towers in a complex, and the older BMS system just weren't built to talk to the IoT sensors on a cloud platform. So there you'll always see those heterogeneous systems coming together under one umbrella, becoming a very difficult integration issues over here. Now, and the other piece is the data without an action, right? The smart meters and the occupancy sensors are installed, but the data often sits unused. We need to actually start using it. It is not something that you collect it, you need to act upon it. And we need to connect those to the AI MLs, right? When you have a data is a new rich oil, right? You need to run those AI models, the artificial intelligence machine learning models, with the help of which you can have the dashboards, and then accordingly, basically you generate the alerts, have the waste, water waste, energy peaks, and predictive maintenance kind of a stuff, which basically helps us to leverage that data which has been caught by the IoT with the help of heterogeneous integration, which itself is a very big ask. And the second is the vendor lock-in and scale gaps, right? Some developers get locked into the proprietary ecosystems, unable to scale or switch that easily to the other one. And there is always a regional shortage of system integrators and smart building engineers who actually understand both MEP systems and the cloud analytics. So these all things, gaps are there, which are actually making it very, very tough to do it. And even if you do that, it all depends upon how you basically leverage that data, runs an AI ML, gets a predictive analysis, creates the dashboards and alert, and thereby use it. IoT itself is a big challenge to integrate, and even if you do it, the usage is something which none of the organizations have been able to drive it end to end. But yes, the efforts are always there. Everyone is trying very hard. I'm sure we're going to reach up to that. So to basically to go from a smart or to the intelligent building, we need a couple of things, right? We need like open standards. How that open standard itself defines how you basically integrate. And then obviously you need a unified platform which actually takes all the different kinds of IoTs of the world and the digital systems which are part of the IoT fraternity. They come together and make a very strong bond. And then there has to be a stronger collaboration between the IT, the facility management, and the entire design team. If these things don't go together, then the entire IoT leverage usage, which is we are desiring or dreaming of, becomes a near distant dream.
Thank you, Kiran. Thank you. And finally, coming to the last question for Mr. Albies, and probably the last question of the webinar as well. I'd like to ask, like, in what ways do you see real estate business models evolving due to technology? Are we heading towards property as a service, dynamic leasing, or fully digital customer journeys?
The real estate business model, if you are comparing with what was there in 10-15 years ago and what is happening today, is really transformed into a different level. Even if you take the Saudi Arabia or UAE, where people used to have a lot of paper-based activities, today you go to a website interested in a property, you select the property, you pay the token advance or whatever is the initial amount, and then the property is reserved, and the complete workflow, which used to take about a month or two in the past, is happening within 45 to 50 minutes time, including the complete e-signatures and the authentications, verifications. Most of the things are done through digital transformation. Every organization have their own customer journeys, and the customer journey, if you are talking about, there are three sections. One is the pre-sales, the second one is the sales, and third one is the post-sales. So most of the people are saying we are digitally transformed, but they complete the first two segments. The third one is partially done, because the relationship with the customer is affected only when you finish the sale and you hand over the property, and post handover there are many activities to be managed dynamically with the customer. So these are the areas where the digital transformation plays a major role. Coming back to your question on property as a service, it's actually a platform as a service, but we are talking property as a service. These are Airbnb. If you see, they have really ruled across the world with this functionality. We can say everyone has a property, they upload this property, and it is available to people who are visiting to consume on hourly basis or daily basis, monthly basis. So this is already in place in most of the places. And leasing is also depends on the project. For example, someone wants to have a place for an exhibition, and within the exhibition there are small outlets which are subsectioned within the place. These are all dynamic leasing. So most of these are digitally transformed, and the amount of data which is being collected because of this digital transformation is huge. And if it is not properly managed, going forward, it will be affecting most of the organizations, because organizations need to focus more on managing the data well, and it needs to be put in place in the right platform, right technology, right structure, and more importantly, it is required to be integrated for meaningful information. So these informations are really having a value in terms of delivering a monetization in the future, where the property owners, the tenants, the people who are visiting, lot of retail brands which are working in the real estate space, everyone creates a data, and the monetization can happen dynamically through the public Wi-Fi, and a lot of digital solutions are available. And therefore, I totally understand these digital journeys are really non-stoppable. It's a dream. Every day a new journey is being created, a new solution is being implemented. So you dream, you have to wait for it, and very soon these are implemented in real.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Albies, for taking this time out and being on this panel discussion. I'm sure everybody who's listening to you has got a lot of insights and a lot of knowledge about the realm of IT in the real estate sector. So thank you very much once again for being present on this panel discussion.
Thank you. I think that we are in a very exciting time, a time where AI is playing a larger and larger role in organizations. And I think that, now companies really need to invest in their AI strategies in terms of, the people, the skill sets, the technologies, the tools, because it can offer a lot of benefits, but it needs to be planned, thought through, and then executed in terms of a larger scope IT strategic roadmap and plan as well.
Just to close, I'll say again that, UAE real estate is already setting a global benchmark, as you're aware, right? But this next phase is not just about, the tall towers or, fancier apps that we're going to build. It's about building trustworthy, secure, and intelligent ecosystem that serve people better, run greener, and adapt smarter. It has to be built considering the environment as well. Let's move, I would say, from digital first to human first real estate slowly, and where tech just works, the system stays safe, and people are truly empowered to do whatever they want to do with respect to real estate, considering the human and the environment aspects also in consideration. I would like to thank Cash Research for inviting me over here and giving this opportunity to contribute to the tech discussions that are happening right now. And all the very best for your future endeavors, and all support to you and all strength to you. And thanks again for inviting me.
Thank you, Shoaib. Thank you, everyone, for the time, for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you to all the speakers who've been a part of this panel discussion. And thank you once again for everyone joining today's session. If you'd like to explore a customized briefing of our organization, access the full data set, or collaborate on deeper research, we are welcome for conversation. Until that, let's continue to build a smarter, data-driven, and digitally mature real estate sector across the Middle East. And you can always download this report from the CAS website and have a soft copy of your own. Until then, this is Shoaib Chaudhary signing off from CAS Research.